Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell, Part 3. To remind you, a quick summation, Book of Mormon tells us directly that the Book of Mormon is in the learning of the Jews. That needs to be understood. And so when they're talking about the Christ, he says the word Messiah here in the beginning. That's the Jewish version of Christ in Greek. They are not talking about some being who has died, resurrected, and ascended and will come back for a second coming, as the New Testament Gospels talk about. The New Testament version is not accepted by the Jews because he failed to save the Jews on earth. This whole idea that they had to wait for thousands of years for some ascended being to return to earth and then inhabit the earth by restoring the kingdom that he failed to restore the first time, even though the Christians all claim he restored the kingdom. That's Constantine who screwed that all up. Matthew followed it. I'll get into that. So learning of the Jews. You have to understand the learning of the Jews in this process. We'll add it to the list. Learning of the Jews. And so Paleo-Hebrew is necessary. Egyptian is necessary. Real LDS church history. For those of you who are ex-Mormon and not Mormon, you need to get the church's history correct. Even you do. Mormons don't have it correct. The church confessed that they've been lying to us as they come out with new things. Oh, hey, yeah, now we're telling you that this happened. Such as looking at rocks in a hat. Contemporary U.S. history. This is just after the Revolution and the War of 1812, which has its anniversary coming up. The York Rites Freemasons, ancient temple rites, Jewish mysticism, and mysticism with mysteries of God. You need to understand that it's not about secrets, it's about knowledge for the initiated. The washings and anointings, which are in the Mormon temples from Joseph Smith, not the endowment ceremony, are about making people Melchizedeks, the initiatories. And so the washings are the making a person a high priest or a high priestess. Yes, women. And the anointing, which is Christ in Greek, christening, and Messiah in Hebrew, is thus makes a person a king who is a Christ. That's all a king is a Christ. So to again allow Constantine's screw up of religion to influence your understanding of the learning of the Jews, is going to throw you all in whack. And so then Lehi has a dream. Astronomy is also necessary, because Lehi's first dream that he has after the pillar of fire vision and dwelling on a rock, and they don't tell us anything that came from that, but notice it's a rock rather than a bush, like Moses had. And notice that rocks with light coming from them. But here we have a dream where he sees the sign in the heavens. He says it. Even that he saw the heavens opened. And here he adds to what previous prophets, even John, did not cover. because this is where he's getting this sign in heaven from his dream. And so seeing one with luster above the noonday sun, that's Sun Amun for Mormons. Amun, El, God Amun, which comes from the Egyptians. And then he sees 12 stars following this sun, brighter than the sun. So then we can go to Revelation chapter 12, and here we have, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. 12 stars following her, because that's the path that they travel. Planets travel from right to left as they go left to right, because of the way the earth is set up and goes around the sun. And so she brings forth a man-child. It's the sign in the heavens. It's not an event on earth. However, signs are always talking about an event on earth. So we go to Joseph Smith translation, Revelation, and chapter 12. And there appeared a great sign in heaven, in the likeness of things on the earth. That was added. And then also verse 5 was moved up before the sign of the dragon and before the sign of the tail of the stars falling from the dragon's tail. That is important, because the way it's set up in Revelation is that the birth comes after the sign of the dragon and the sign of the tail, the falling stars, the tail of the dragon and the falling stars. And so it's as if the sign of the woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, crown of 12 stars, hasn't given birth when this happens. And that's not the case. They correctly understood, nope, we need to move the birth of the sun before these other two signs. So there you have an understanding that Joseph Smith and Sidney Rigdon, because he was the one involved with this, with Joseph Smith, knew astronomy, knew the signs that were coming. Do you understand what I just said? They understood the signs that were coming. And I showed you the pictures. The date for this was 23rd of September 2017. It had never occurred before, never will occur again. However, the day that they supposedly got the Book of Mormon plates from the ground on the hill Cumorah, where he also talked about a cave in the hill Cumorah, where there were lots of Egyptian plates buried in there. Again, that's from Knights Templar lore, but also indicates southern Illinois, where the two solar eclipses will be crossing. They knew astronomy. They all knew astronomy. And so Kurt the farm in Palmyra will be darkened by the one in 2024, the solar eclipse in 2024, whereas Adamon, Diamond, and Independence were darkened by the one in 2017. The sun shall be darkened. The 3 days of darkness. That was the first of the three. And very important to understand this. And where did they get this from? Where did John get it from? Whoops, we got to go to the scriptures. Well, they got it from Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 7, Now, house of David. So from the house of David. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Not the event, a sign in the heavens. Behold, a virgin sign. Not the woman, the sign of virgin, which is Virgo, shall conceive. Not an actual birth, but the sign of Jupiter leaving the womb as it retrograded for a pregnancy period, and bear a son, Jupiter, not an actual man, and call his name Emmanuel, Amen El, the God Amen, not God with us. With us is God. No, they screwed up the definition. And so, for your information, when they got the plates, God was not sitting on his throne, which means they understood the difference. That they used that sign to start the process of working on the Book of Mormon. And then they knew of the future sign as they put it in the first chapter of the Book of Mormon. Because sure enough, God, Saturn, the fifth visible planet, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, is in the constellation of Ophiuchus, the throne of God. God, Saturn, sitting on his throne. While this sign that Isaiah talks about, which he got from the Egyptians, by the way, occurred. And so Matthew screws it all up, because he talks about Jesus coming a second time, and then claims, oh, nobody knows the day or the hour, but he gives the day and the hour. In chapter 1, verse 23, behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is incorrectly interpreted as God with us. See, he knew the sign, got it from Isaiah. He knew it was a sign in Isaiah. Instead, he says, oh, this is an actual event. No. Virgins don't give birth. Women give birth. Virgins get pregnant and become women by giving birth. Sign, Virgo. That's how you can have an immaculate conception, is because it's in heaven. The stars. Stars don't actually get pregnant. Constellations don't get pregnant. It's a sign. And so then he goes on and talks about in chapter 2, now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem. No. That's where the womb ends. In her left hand, she's holding a sheaf of wheat, the house of bread. She's the house, the queen, who just gave birth, and bread is wheat. That's why it's called Spica, I think its name is the house of bread star, which is Bethlehem. Alright, and so Judah, which is Leo, the sign of the lion, from Jacob's blessings to his 12 sons. Alright, so let's go back to the Book of Mormon, chapter 2, now that we took the whole time to summarize. But that's important. You need to understand this. Alright, so Lehi, having been abused by his own religion, as they want him dead, for saying, hey, a Christ is coming. Again, this is prophecy, because it's all about the latter days. So the person who's going to be warning a religion is going to have death threats by his own religion, by the people of his own religion. That's the pattern. These are patterns. And what we're getting here is now the Exodus pattern. For behold, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto my father, even in a dream. So now he's having a second dream. And said unto him, Blessed art thou, Lehi, because of the things which thou hast done. He was obedient and went and warned the people. Hey, there's signs coming. Hey, you guys are going to be destroyed. Hey, you guys are being bad. Stop it. Start being good. Choose the right. And they seek to take away your life because you were doing what I asked you to do. And it came to pass that the Lord commanded Lehi, even in a dream, that he should take his family and depart into the wilderness. An exodus. It's a variation because he's leaving before destruction comes. He's rich, so he's able to take camels and tents and all that stuff, even though he leaves his treasure behind, as we learn in the story later. But that's in regards to the value, to compare with the value of the brass plates that they need to make sure they take with them during the Exodus. And we'll get to that when we get to that. And so he's obedient, and came to pass he departed in the wilderness. My father dwelt in a tent. And so then that's where it is. There's an Exodus pattern. There's variations of it, because Mulek also departed with the group of people from Jerusalem when Babylon actually came and fulfilled the prophecies of destroying Jerusalem, destroying the temple. Remember, religion, prophecy, latter days, the religion will have their temple destroyed. There will be an Exodus. That's why in the Doctrine and Covenants, the last days will begin at my house, saith the Lord. What's his house? The temple. And if you need help, it's the temple that has been desecrated with the symbols and signs of Lucifer. What is the symbol and sign of Lucifer? The upside down star, the falling star, the inverted pentagram. I've been going over which church and which temple has that as the keystone. Keystone means the doctrines are taught therein according to the sign that is put on there. And so we'll end it there. This is the Exodus pattern. Just as Moses did, as they constantly remind us over and over again, using Laman as the excuse. Laman, you're bad. Stop it. Be good. You're supposed to be the leader, and you're not. We'll get to that.